Hello friends, how's it going? It's what time is it? It's almost 5 o'clock my time here in Austin, Texas area. 74 degrees is so comfortable. This is like the perfect riding weather. I've got one light sweatshirt underneath my riding jacket. I am perfectly comfortable. So nice. On days like this, it's just so comfortable, you kind of forget what it's like riding in those 105 degree weather days until they come back again. And then you just long for days like this. The only problem is we just had daylight savings time a couple days ago, so we lost an hour of sunlight. So in about half an hour, the sun's going to be going down. So that kind of sucks. So our riding got more comfortable weather-wise, but less time to do it. So right now I'm just out for some wind therapy, and I'm making my way to Georgetown and just chat a little bit about my experience at BMW demo days. So riding out Power Sports in Austin just last week, Friday and Saturday. They had the BMW truck there with all the models, the 24 models, and you know, you're able to go there, sign up, and test them out in groups. And it was about a 20-minute ride, and I got to ride 5 different bikes. It was amazing, and I have all that footage. I'm working on that video now. It's going to be a while though, because I've got a lot to edit. One of the things that surprised me, or it didn't really surprise me, it just was interesting. They had an RS there for people to test ride amongst all the other, you know, the RR, the M. They had 2 M bikes there, the K1600, the RT, a bunch of the different types of GSs, the R18, all that stuff. I kept asking people that rode this RS, was it the first time they did that? Woo, okay. Was that the first time they rode an RS? And, you know, what did they think? And everyone was had very favorable reviews. One gentleman was, in his words, was like blown away by it. He thought it was like the best bike out of all the bikes he tested that day. For just the fact that it was, you know, torquey and fun to ride, and the seating position was kind of perfect in between, you know, super sport, you know, totally leaned over, and, you know, a GS. So you're kind of in the middle there, and the bike still retains its kind of sporty looks, which is nice. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about that today. Once I get to my destination, I'll pull over somewhere and we'll do some video and some chatting about this RS, and, you know, is it kind of the right bike for you, or what to expect from this bike. So I'll see you in a little bit. Historic area of Georgetown. So some of these houses that we just went by are historic. Pretty cool. Big homes too. And up there in the front of us is the courthouse. Pretty cool. Probably can't see it from here by the camera though. It's a dome-shaped building up there and off to the right just a little bit. Gonna swing around there. If I can find a parking spot, I'll park it up and we'll have a chat. So while we're waiting here, I did my inspection. So we have to have our vehicles inspected every year. So the motorcycle is $7 US, and that's just once a year. And basically they just check to make sure your blinkers work, your horn works, your brakes work, everything on the bike is safe. And then you take that, and that electronically goes to the local government, which then allows you to register your bike for the year. So we have to register our vehicles every year as well. And that was $53 and change. So altogether it's about 60 bucks a year I have to pay for inspection and registration. Just for those that don't live in Texas and are wondering about that. It's something I have to do every year. Okay, so now we're in downtown Georgetown. This is a cool little town. I like this little town a lot. It's pretty cool. Here's the courthouse on the right-hand side. Here's all the people drinking beer on the left-hand side. Look at this guy with a cyber truck with a zombie on the back of it. Okay, let's see if we can go. Oh yeah, there's plenty of parking over here. I think right now everyone's out voting. So today also is another important day besides getting my bike inspected. It's voting day here in America. So let's park. Let's park right over here. Okay. Whew, that was a nice little ride to get up here. Alright, so let me get off my gear and then we'll just have a chat about this bike. Okay, so there's the full shot of the bike. Whoops, get my finger out of the way there. And right away, I mean, there's my Insta sticking off of there and all that good stuff. So I do have some kind of toury type things on it. So I have the tank bag and the saddle bags. Both of those are from SW Motec. And I bought both of those. I bought the saddle bags and that tank bag for my trip out to the Twisted Sisters. My plan was to go out there, spend the night, ride the sisters, spend the night, and then come home, put my clothes and change of clothes and tire kit, all that stuff in there. And then when I got home, I was gonna take the bags off. But I found that I just really like the way these bags look on the bike. And they're just black. They match the bike. They have the kind of red accent here that goes along with my theme of red kind of accents. And I left them on, and they're just so convenient too. Like when I'm out, if I need to buy something or need to take my camera equipment with me, or I go to a bike meetup, I can store stuff in there, extra waters, whatever. So I just leave them on. So that's the only kind of toury thing I did to this bike. So let's start up front here, and let's see, I did the wheel tape. I put that red rim tape on there just because when the bike came to me new stock, the only red on it was this, and I just thought, gosh, it kind of it just needs a little bit of extra red kind of to balance it out around the bike. So rim tape right there. Then this was clear, which I didn't like the way it looked. So I got this as a puig smoke screen. It's basically the same size. It's the race screen, it's called, I believe. And it's the same size as, there's the name right there, the brand. It's the same size as the stock screen. But one thing that this did do, it didn't change anything about the wind, but when I had the stock screen on, right here, if you look at some of my older videos, I kind of have some videos about that. But where the screen attaches here and here, when I'd go around a corner and the bike's kind of bogging down a little bit on a slow corner and you're letting the clutch out, giving a little gas, and the bike vibrates just a little bit, this would vibrate and make a noise like metal clanking against metal. It just sounded terrible. And I think maybe it was down in here. And I hated that. I'm like, gosh, I got a BMW. Why is this thing making clanking noise? It's horrible. And so this screen, once I installed it, that didn't happen anymore. And I think it's just because the screen, the kind of bevel on it, if you will, the curve is a little bit more than stock. So when I installed it, it pushed harder against these two sides. And I think it just kind of tightened that whole situation up there, and it doesn't rattle anymore. So that's cool. But I got this, and then I bought this just because this screen moves, so you can reach in here. It's not electric or anything. I do it manually, so you can grab it with your hands and do it, or you can reach in here with your hand and grab this little thing and pull this up. You see it goes up, but in this up position, it gives really bad wind buffeting on your helmet. So I never pick it up. with this down and without this little wind deflector, you still get some buffeting. So I bought this because when I do moto vlogs, this right here, the wind hits and goes right over my helmet, and it keeps my helmet in a more clear kind of airspace, so that when I'm moto vlogging with this and the microphone, you can hear me relatively clear. When I take this off, and I do like some of my older videos where I didn't have this, there's a lot of wind noise, and you can hear me, but it just doesn't sound good. And you know, live and learn. As I went along, I'd learned to do these things, but this was only like 30 bucks on Amazon. It's an aftermarket thing. It's fine. Let's see, what else did we do up front here? Nothing else, I don't think. Then we come to here. So I got these bar ends. The original bar ends stick out to be right about there, and they're solid steel and they're very heavy. So they really cut down on vibration. So I was worried that the bars would vibrate more with these, because these are like aluminum. They're super lightweight, but they don't really vibrate that much. I rode 5 hours straight out to the Twisted Sisters, and my hands were fine. So I like that little extra, you know, red in there. I got rid of the GPS mount because I didn't need it. Again, because I don't go off, you know, on really long trips, and I usually don't go anywhere where there's no cell phone reception. And I've already downloaded maps into Google, so even if I hit somewhere where there's no cell phone reception, which I have out in the hill country, I don't lose the maps. They still, you know, steer me in the right direction. So I got rid of that, and I got new bolts to put in there, which I think they look nice. I painted them black, so I think that looks kind of cool. Quad lock wireless charger with the vibration dampener right here, so this moves around, and this is the ram mount that goes into the back of the brake assembly here. See, it mounts right in there. And I did that before. I used to have the phone here, but it was behind the screen. What happens on really hot days, the phone would overheat and shut off on me. So I put it over here. So when I mount the phone on here, half of the phone is in the wind. So the phone stays a little cooler. But I have to say, that quad lock case that they give you for this, for the wireless, it's very thick, and it just holds the heat. It's, you know, I don't know what to do about that. But so I got that. Okay, so coming back this way a little bit more, now we got the cylinder head guards. Those are X-Head 1250 from Moto. What are those called? Moto Art. I can't see with my glasses. Machine Art Moto. I'm sorry. So these are much bigger than the ones they give you when you get the bike. The ones they give you the bike, they basically just come over here and cover the spark plug. They're just right about here, and that's it. So all this is not covered. The underneath is not covered with those originals. So this one now covers a bigger spot. It goes all the way underneath here too. So that's pretty cool. Now moving up from the engine guards there, come back here to the seat. So this is my Sargent seat, and this pod comes from Sargent as well. This is just so much nicer than the one they give you. The one they give you is very soft, the stock seat. It's higher by about 1.5 inches or so, but it had these little edges on the side. It would make my butt go numb. And I did a whole video about this seat. If you can, maybe if I remember, I'll put it up on the screen. But I did a whole video about this seat, why I bought it, all that stuff. All I can say now, just to keep it concise and quick, is it's very comfortable. If you sit on it, it feels a little hard, but that's what it feels like the entire time you ride for 2 or 3 hours straight. You get no butt numbness or any of that stuff. And it's lower for me. I'm a shorter rider, so it kind of helps me get flat-footed on this bike a lot easier. And this pod is really cool because it's actually, you know, makes the bike look sportier, because that's what I'm going for. I like to have this bike look kind of sporty. And it also is, you know, serves a huge purpose. So I've got my tire kit in here, underneath here, my tire inflation device, mini air. What is this? A mini air compressor, stop and go. It hooks right up to the battery, and you can pump up your tires. Got some locks, some tools. We'll always have a bottle of water here in Texas with me, my helmet bag in case I want to put my helmet in a bag or something. That's all in there, and it locks if you wanted to, but it looks cool, and it's also functional. So that's another thing I did. Then I already talked about the bags. Got rim tape in the back, obviously, again. And what else? I don't think And this one came loaded when I bought it with all the goodies that these came with at that time. So it has the top case, and you know, some people, if you get the stock one of this without this, it just has handrails here, and then this part is sticking way out. I would probably get a tail tidy for it, but because this sticks way out, and I want to keep it because I do put my helmet on it, I do put things on it, and with this sticking out and this sticking out about the same amount of length here, it kind of balances out, and I don't really need to do the tail tidy. So I'm just leaving it the way it is for now. I like that, because if you replace this and you just want the handles, it's a whole unit. It's not just, I thought originally I could just take this off and these handles would be here and that's it, but this is all one piece. So you got to remove this whole thing and then buy the handles, and I think they're about $600 or more just for the handles. So I just don't see that as a wise investment on my part. Now we're coming down and we're doing some engine stuff. So I did a akrapovic black titanium slip-on connected to, recently I did a full titanium headers and got rid of the cat. So you can see here the headers there, they're turning kind of a nice bluish purple, and they go all the way back, and there's some carbon fiber parts there, which is nice. And I also got a Bren tune for it. So after the 3-year warranty was up, I did get the headers and the Bren tune for this bike, which really, those two things together gave this bike a whole new meaning, and it's like riding a whole new bike. The idle is great, the limiters are gone, it just responds much better. The quick shifter on these boxers a little clunky. It even smoothed that out nicely. I just really like it. So that's kind of all things I did. And again, I did it because I want to keep the bike kind of sporty looking, and that's the way it looks. Okay, now moving on to this bike and what people do to it that want to tour with it. First thing that most people do, two things, is they get a tour screen. So it's going to be a little bit straighter, and it's going to be probably about 3 inches, probably as high as this, but just all obviously one piece. And that's tour screen to put themselves in a little bubble. And bar risers. Again, I did not want to do that because it takes away from the sporty look of it. So it's bar risers just go on top of this here, and then these sit on top of it. The bar risers will pick these bars up about 1 inch and back about 1 inch to put you a little bit more upright in a better, more comfortable position. And I've never tried it, but I would assume, talking to people, that it is more comfortable. But it does bring these, when you're looking at the bike standing away from it, it brings the bars up and back, and it's too, for me, it just doesn't look good. I don't know, it's again, this is subjective, but it takes away from the sporty look of the bike. It makes it look more like maybe an adventure bike or something like that, especially if you don't have the pod on the back there. So those are two most important things that they do. And then of course, if they have that, they'll get the top case, and a lot of them will get the BMW side bags, because I believe you can fit a helmet in those. They do stick out quite a bit. I don't like the way they look because they're bulbous, and they do stick out probably about out to here. These do expand, and I probably could fit a helmet in here if this opening wasn't so narrow, because you can unzip this part and this will pop way out to here, about another 2.5 or 3 inches. But I never need to expand it because I don't carry that much stuff with me. What else did they do? And then just little personal things, like depending how tall you are, you might change the foot pegs, try to lower them or something, or you might get one of those fancy, seats that will keep the seat cool and dry. This bike did not come with a heated seat, but I could have got one with this one, but I don't need it. I'm in Texas. Even when it's winter and I'm riding, it is cold, but I just deal with it. I don't mind. It does have heated grips, so that's good. I do use those because I pretty much wear my summer gloves all year round, because I don't like I got some really nice winter gloves, but they're just so thick, and it's hard the tactile sensation of how thick those gloves are on the bike. I just don't like it. But let's see what else. Those two major things is that tour screen, the bar risers, and then some people will get the crash guards up here, and then attach some external, auxiliary lighting, down here somewhere. And then you do make ones that you can attach right to, I think you can attach them here, or I can't remember where you can attach them. Somewhere on the fork area. I know I've seen some people have some lights here. And that's definitely a plus, when you're touring and going somewhere. You're maybe out in the dark, really, really dark back roads with no street lights. Those lights come in handy. Plus, they help people, drivers see you better. Let's see. I don't think I'm missing anything else. That's probably about it. And that would make you have a nice little tour bike. So this engine is the same one that goes into the RT, which is the police motorcycle. The RT, of course, is much heavier than this bike and has a huge front end with a lot of wind protection. So you're probably looking at 100 pounds extra on that RT. So this bike is actually a little bit more nimble and faster just because it's lighter. So if you're looking for a sport bike feel, kind of, and look, this would be your choice here, I think, over the RT. And the RT costs quite a bit more than this as well. But I have a whole another video that I'm going to make going over all the different bikes that you could get that would be touring type bikes from BMW. But the characteristic of this bike is, this is basically what this bike is for someone that is going to ride around town, suburbia, backcountry roads, twisties, all that stuff, wants a bike that is pretty fast, but very, very torquey. So this bike, that's where this bike shines, is probably from 0 miles to 80 miles an hour is its sweet spot. It can get up to that speed very quickly. It has a lot of torque. This bike pulls, like a lot of people say, like a tractor. I love that feeling. And if you just peg the throttle on this thing in second gear to third or third or fourth, it can get a little scary because it does throw you back. But once you hit 80, it starts to kind of, mellow out, and top end on this is probably about, especially with the tune I have, probably around 145, 140, somewhere around there. I've never tested it though. I just don't feel a need to go that fast, but I have gotten close, and it's fun. But again, it is not a high end like an inline 4 bike that you need to wind out, get it up into those higher RPMs where then it gets scary because it can go up to like 180 miles an hour or something like that. So this engine is not that type of engine. And then also, even with the slip-on and the straight pipes here, this bike has a nice real rumble, especially when you get on it. But just starting it cold, or just starting it and going slowly, it doesn't make a lot of noise like an inline 4 with a slip-on does, like a sport bike. So that's it. Again, look out for my next video coming up soon. It's going to be the entire BMW demo day where I ride 5 bikes, and but 2 of those are the same. So there's 4 different bikes I ride and have commentary while I'm riding, and I tell you what I think about the bikes and all that good stuff. And there'll be another video about BMW's bikes, which ones can be touring bikes and which ones might be the ones you want or would fit your needs the best. All right, well, thanks for joining me. That's it from this end. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, share it, all that good stuff. Really appreciate it. Helps the channel out, and I will see you next time. Later.